Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Down trees and flooding. The Triangle is cleaning up this morning after severe storms. The area is hit hardest by high water and damaging debris.
And it's over for now. We see dry conditions here on the Dual Doppler 5000 radar, and I'll show you why we'll have fewer storms today.
And welcome back, students. It's college move-in day at several Triangle universities. The traffic impacts you could see this morning around those schools. And for us, NC State is just down the road, Western Boulevard. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. Great to have you with us on this Friday. And the forecast is going to vibe with all the Friday feels. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Drier, that's the key.
Yes, and thankfully for move-in day for all those students. Here's Dual Doppler 5000 radar. Everything is dry now. Everything is quiet. We actually have clear skies currently, but we will see some increase in our cloud cover. Possibly even this morning, we could end up with some low clouds and patchy fog in a few places, and then partly cloudy this afternoon. A 30% chance of rain, and we still have a low risk for flooding today, but it will be a much lesser risk than we saw yesterday. I mean, yesterday during the day was dry. We just got hit with a disturbance last night. We'll talk about how much rain that was coming up. But skies are actually clear right now in downtown Raleigh. 73 is the temperature and 73 is the dew point. So it's still a fairly warm and muggy start for us this morning. And today we could hit 90 degrees for the first time this month. Can you believe we still haven't hit 90 degrees in August? The other thing that we're expecting is for Aaron to become a hurricane. We had a 2 o'clock advisory, winds at 70 miles per hour, 74 mile per hour winds would be a hurricane, and that is likely coming up in a few minutes. We should have the next advisory by about 10 till 5. So we'll take a look at that. This is a look at the current forecast track, which splits the difference between Bermuda and the United States. We'll talk more about where this storm could be headed.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Fast-moving torrential rain moved through the Triangle overnight, creating havoc on the roads. Ali Kalubar is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker showing those impacts this morning. And Ali, downed trees landed on cars and even shut down roads.
Yes, and just within the past few hours, crews actually put up these signs right here. This one was closed because of high water. This road, Warren Avenue, it was flooded. This is one of the several impacts we saw from those downpours overnight. Downed trees, flooded roads, and stranded vehicles. The impacts from overnight downpours. A tree fell on top of an SUV on Western Boulevard around 11:30. It caused a family to crash. On Capitol Boulevard, floodwaters trapped vehicles. There was a similar situation on I-40 where a handful of vehicles are now stranded. Now, those floodwaters have gone down this stretch. Barely any water on it right here on Warren Avenue. Western Boulevard also cleared as of 3 a.m. We're working to find out the extent of the impacts from last night's storm. Reporting in Cary, Ali Kalubar, WRAL News.
We are trying to learn new information about a large law enforcement presence at a Harnett County home overnight. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on McCoy Town Road near Highway 24. Video shows deputies and fire crews at a home surrounded by yellow tape. Police at the scene would not confirm why they were at the home. College students and families are back in the Triangle. Move-in efforts are already happening at NC State and UNC. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at NC State this morning as Wolfpack families return. Kelsey, people who drive around campus need to be aware of the extra traffic.
Yes, Renee, college students will be moving in across the Triangle this week. And if Western Boulevard here is a part of your morning commute, you may want to give yourself a little bit of extra time because thousands of students are moving in at NC State today. So you may want to avoid these 3 streets if you're driving anywhere near campus: Varsity Drive, Dan Allen Drive, and Morill Drive. Check out this video of the Wolfpack class of 2029 moving in yesterday. Students will also be moving into University Towers today. So that's near Hillsborough Street and Dan Allen Drive. Expect traffic to be heavier than normal in that area. We also caught a glimpse of students moving in at UNC. Now, Duke students will start moving in tomorrow. They're expecting heavy traffic around East and West Campus, so be mindful of that if you're driving around Durham this weekend. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Today, the cost of the state health plan is expected to go up. The plan is expected to get a major overhaul in 2026. The Health Plan Board is expected to approve a long list of changes at its meeting today. Most of the plan's 750,000 members will end up paying more. State employees who make higher salaries could see their premiums double or even triple, depending on which plan they have. The executive director of the state's employee association says those changes are disappointing.
They're not necessary. Everyone keeps saying they're necessary. They're only necessary and the only thing to do because the other things they could have done, which is to stop overpaying hospital systems, that's been neglected and kicked down the road, and it's just too politically volatile for people to address. So state employees and retirees are the easy path.
Employees who make less will see smaller increases. Some who have children enrolled may even pay a little less. In just a few hours, President Donald Trump will meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin for a high-stakes summit in Anchorage, Alaska. Today's summit will be held on a U.S. military base just outside Anchorage. The goal is to find a way to end the war in Ukraine. Trump has said he is lowering expectations for a ceasefire breakthrough and suggests negotiations for peace could begin soon after. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will not be there. Trump says he hopes to involve him quickly afterwards. Happening today, the NCDOT is set to dedicate a Raleigh bridge in honor of a fallen Wake County deputy. This past Monday marked 3 years since Deputy Ned Bird was killed. He was shot and killed in 2022 during an alleged ambush. The bridge on Auburn-Knightdale Road over the Neuse River will now be known as Deputy Ned P. Bird Bridge. His family, friends, and colleagues will gather to honor his life and service, and that's happening at 11 a.m. at Springfield Baptist Church. A Warren County pastor is facing child sex charges. The SBI confirms Shelton Burkhart faces 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. He worked at Zion Global Methodist Church in Norlina. Loved ones of London Powers held a balloon release in her honor. They gathered outside the Walgreens on Holloway in Durham to pay their respects to the 21-year-old North Carolina Central University student. She was killed earlier this week in a domestic violence shooting. According to family, she was shot by Damian Tinsley, who then turned the gun on himself. Durham police have identified Tinsley as the suspect in the shooting. Powers' mother says her daughter recently ended an abusive relationship with Tinsley. She's moving out of their shared apartment at the time.
Really, I'm feeling so overwhelmed about the support and love she has here. I knew she had a Durham family because how she spoke of them, but to actually see it is always heartbreaking. And I know they feel the same pain I feel.
Powers tells WRAL her daughter's death emphasizes the importance of acknowledging the signs of domestic abuse before it's too late. A home health aide charged with stealing money from an 89-year-old woman is out of jail on bond this morning. Victoria Lowry is facing 5 felonies in Durham. The sheriff's office says the daughter of the victim noticed missing checks, and 3 of them were written to Lowry. Several bottles of the victim's medication were also missing. Her next court date is in September. Starting today, the nation's capital is implementing a temporary youth curfew zone in D.C.'s Navy Yard. D.C. police says the curfew covers the area shaded in yellow you see here on your screen. Kids 17 and under will not be allowed to gather in a group of 9 or more in the shaded area from 8 to 11 p.m. A citywide curfew in place until the end of the month starts at 11 and ends at 6 a.m. the next morning. This is the 4th time this summer D.C. police have implemented this curfew zone for kids. Right now, the Wake County Animal Shelter is completely full. The kennels are at capacity, and leaders are asking for your help. As part of the Clear the Shelters campaign, the Wake County Animal Center is waiving the adoption fees. If you can't adopt right now, fostering is also a great option to help animals in need. The Highway Patrol has created a new safety campaign in Charlotte just weeks after a crash that killed 6 people. There will be more troopers on Interstate 485 for the next 3 months. Last month, 6 people died when a teenager crashed into a van while merging lanes. The Highway Patrol says the basics really matter when it comes to staying safe.
I don't want to be literally a broken record, but it comes down to speed. comes down to distractions, comes down to the things you can do preventative-wise as far as wearing your seatbelts. Impairment, we've made great strides throughout the years on our impairment statistics.
The NTSB is investigating the crash. A preliminary report is expected soon. A Raleigh Road project is back on track. The city scaled back on improvements to Barwell Road because of funding. It took money from the scaled-back Six Forks Road project and gave it to Barwell Road. The plans include sidewalks, intersection changes, and new left turn lanes. The changes will take place between Rock Quarry and Berkeley Lake Road. Hazmat evacuation. Federal offices in New York City were the target of a suspicious package. The investigation into an envelope with white powder. And a crane topples over. A Florida family is out of their home after a construction crane crushed it. How they are mourning the loss of the residents of more than 40 years. Highs around 90 today. It will be warmer and drier today. This is a live look over North Hills. Ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shares that the dry conditions will extend into the weekend.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44, and the rain is over from last night. Boy, in Raleigh, it was a deluge, and we had some issues out there and some flooding in some places, but you can see it is all done right now. We had over 2 inches of rainfall in Raleigh proper, and we'll take a look at where else we saw some heavy rain last night. Today, not a repeat of yesterday. As a matter of fact, right now, skies are fairly clear. We may see some increasing cloud through the morning, and then partly cloudy this afternoon with just a 20 to 30% chance of rain. So hopefully you can put your umbrellas away. I mean, it was pretty dry during the day yesterday. I wish this last night was a mess for some of us. Temperatures are in the low to mid 70s this morning for Fayetteville, Durham, and Wilson, and a 30% chance for rain again tomorrow. Sunday is a 0%. It's actually looking pretty good to get out and about around here over the weekend. We'll check your beach forecast coming up.
To see those lower rain chances. Elizabeth, thank you. The FBI is analyzing white powder that was inside an envelope opened inside a federal building in New York City. The building houses New York's headquarters of the FBI, Homeland Security, and ICE. Part of it is being used by ICE as a detention and processing center. New York police and fire departments evacuated the office. There were no reports of anyone getting sick. A home in Florida was destroyed when a construction crane fell on top of it. Look at this. The crane was doing work on the utility poles. The crane's owner says it tipped over because it was on top of an underground water line that collapsed under its weight. The homeowner says his son's bedroom took the majority of the damage.
I live in that house right now. There's no roof. There's no ceiling. Got a place to lay my head, but it's just devastating.
No ceiling's a problem. The accident knocked out power for the neighborhood. Water was also shut off to repair the main break. Starting at the end of the month, the U.S. government will no longer send you checks. The Treasury Department announced yesterday that all money going out will come through digital payments. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says this has been a long-standing bipartisan goal, and switching to all digital payments will reduce fraud and theft. Artificial intelligence may help authorities in South Carolina identify 2 men who cannot be laid to rest until their names are learned. This type of John Doe case is common, but innovations in technology and AI may help move them forward. Authorities are now able to search wider databases for matching DNA samples, and AI is allowing them to create lifelike facial reconstructions for the deceased.
Incredibly frustrating because we're so close. I would have hoped that somebody would have seen his profile on NamUs or some police department that was working a missing persons case.
The Department of Justice estimates there are around 40,000 unidentified deaths a year. New body camera video shows the moment an officer in Tennessee rescued people and a dog from floodwaters. Officer Sylvia Montana's body cam recorded her helping after water that overtook an interstate. And she guided people to higher ground, even carried their luggage. The Chattanooga airport recorded more than 6 inches of rain on Tuesday. It was the second wettest day in the city's history. Well, parts of our viewing area got a lot of rain overnight as well. Not 6 inches, but significant amounts. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner showing us it's nice to see a dry radar or clear radar.
Isn't it? Yeah, nothing to see here on Dual Doppler 5000 radar, which is great. Not to say it's completely over. The rain from last night is definitely over. This is a look at the last 24 hours. Definitely a drier picture than it has been the last several days. But, you know, the folks who saw some of that heavy rain saw some issues. We had about 2.5 inches at least estimated on the radar here around Raleigh, and it did cause some flooding problems. About 2.5 inches south and east of Roanoke Rapids, and north of Roxborough, about 1.5 inches. About 1/2 inch closer to Lewisburg. So there were some pockets of some heavy rain last night, especially in Raleigh, where it was pretty impactful. We still do have a low risk for flooding today, but, you know, really, I think it's going to be a pretty low risk. This is a look at Futurecast. Partly cloudy skies for us this morning. You may run into some low cloud cover and fog, but partly cloudy into the afternoon. There's 2 o'clock, there's 5 o'clock. A couple little cells pop up, so certainly it's not a 0% chance of rain. Give it a 20 to 30% chance, but most of us shouldn't have to worry too much about it. When I came in this morning through downtown Raleigh, it was clear. 73 is our temperature with a dew point of 73. We could hit 90 degrees today. We have not had a 90-degree day yet in the month of August, which is amazing. And we'll see a few more of those. Sunday, 91, 92 Monday, 89 on Tuesday, and upper 80s, 88, 89 is normal for this time of year. We're going to lose a little bit of our humidity over the weekend. You know, it's been just oppressively muggy. This is a look at where the humidity is here in green. A front will slide southward, and a high-pressure system builds in, bringing us some slightly drier air over the weekend. Watch how it dries out there, especially for Sunday. So a little bit of a drop in our humidity. Not a huge drop, just a little bit. Down here is Aaron, and boy, we really thought that it would be named a hurricane by the 5 o'clock advisory, so it's in, and it's not. Still 70-mile-per-hour winds. We'll likely get an 8 o'clock advisory, so could be a hurricane at 8 o'clock or potentially 11 o'clock. Still, woo, look at that. This is the new forecast fan. First time that we're seeing a Cat 4 here. It becomes Category 3 over the weekend and swings northward. We're going to take a look at those hurricane-specific models coming up in just a few minutes. But definitely a hotter and drier pattern here in our 7-day forecast, but not bad really for getting out this weekend.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Fishing for evidence. A Minnesota fisherman found a car connected to a 1967 cold case. How unearthing the car has helped authorities make new breakthroughs. Plus, hoodwinked and bamboozled. Denzel Washington says people have been tricked by his likeness. What Denzel is sharing about his digital footprint ahead in our Hollywood Minute. A fisherman on the Mississippi River found a car underwater that could solve a 1967 cold case. Brody Watkins was using an underwater sonar while fishing with a friend in Minnesota. When stopping to catch a fish, they saw the car. It took crews hours to unearth the car without damaging any more of the brittle exterior.
It was 100% luck. If my buddy wouldn't have caught that walleye, then we would have just kept on floating down and never would have found it.
Couldn't have done it without you, so I just wanted to say thanks quick.
It's an incredible catch. Police say the Buick's VIN number confirms that the car belonged to Roy Ben, and he disappeared back in 1967. Some outlets reported Ben was carrying a large amount of money when he disappeared. Investigators also found human remains inside the car, and based on evidence so far, believe it to be Ben. 2 new movies about to hit the big screen. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
What you think? I think you gotta be a little crazy sometimes in this world to get what you want.
What highest to lowest star Denzel Washington wants is for fans to see him on the big screen, not on social media.
Denzel doesn't even have a secret Instagram account.
No, I don't have all those so-called Instagram accounts that my name's connected to it. You've been had. Yeah. You've been took. Yeah. Hoodwinked. Bamboozled. I don't have an Instagram account.
I think we'd all be better off without those addictives in our lives.
Highest to Lowest opens in select theaters today and debuts on Apple TV Plus September 5th.
Try that again, you're dead. Hello? Anyone out there? It's an emergency. There's been a kidnapping. Anyone?
Emma Thompson is a reluctant hero in the official trailer for Dead of Winter. She plays a grieving loner who travels to northern Minnesota, where she finds a girl being held captive by a dangerous couple. Isolated and alone, they both have to fight for survival.
What are we gonna do? We keep going. Simple as that.
Dead of Winter is in theaters September 26th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A very overdue book was returned to a Texas library 82 years after it was checked out. The book, called Your Child, His Family, and Friends, was checked out in July 1943. According to a letter that arrived with the book, someone found it in their father's belongings after his death. The writer believed it may have been checked out by their grandmother when their father was 11 years old. Fortunately for them, the library system did away with late fees in 2021, so nothing owed. 4:56 now on your Friday. Flooding and downed trees. Severe storms brought dangerous conditions to the Triangle. A look at the impacts lingering this morning. Plus, state health plan increases. Today, decisions will be made over changes to insurance plans offered to state employees. The increased rates we could see. And back to school. College students are moving back into the Triangle's universities. The extra traffic you could see this morning as you head out around the campuses.